Yikes.
You like when you eat bad bagpipes.
Oh, shit. I could have remade that whole song in bagpipes,
dude.
For one episode only.
Damn it.
Well, hello there, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Confused Breakfast Podcast. Do you remember the pure joy of a trip to the video rental store as a kid? Mm-hmm. The excitement of walking down the aisles, browsing the names and the artwork, and finally deciding on the movie you were going to take home with you. Sure, it's hard to beat the ease of the modern era and streaming platforms where you don't even have to leave your illegal Irish loft housing development, but there was something truly special about making that trip as a child, picking a movie out by hand and taking it home with you. On this podcast, we revisit and dissect some of our favorite childhood movies from that magical era to see if they still move us the way they did as kids. I'm your host, Mike Schulte. Joining me, as always, two guys who know the prayer in this movie by heart and recite it every Saturday night before they go out drinking. Shaun Pryor and AJ Vance. How the heck are ya?
For thee, my Lord, for thee.
You're the pray.
Spiritus Sancte.
Thank you for the meal.
Yeah, before you take a shot, like that's everybody does the prayer out loud. Spiritus Sancte.
Spiritus Sancte.
We have our two shots lined up on some random person's back of their head.
Jeez.
In Veritas and Aquitas,
Yes.
shot glasses, of course.
We drop pennies in it.
Well, boys, it's time to introduce today's movie. On this episode, we discuss a movie and director that were supposed to be the next big thing in Hollywood. A movie that was reduced to nearly nothing and gaining major cult status with college-age bros who most likely went out to get Veritas and Aquitas tattoos after watching this movie.
Dude.
Controversial, action-packed, star-studded. We are, of course, talking about 1999's The Boondock Saints.
Yeah.
That was the song. Fun story. That was the song that was playing in the club that Willem Dafoe's character was in.
Oh, yeah.
It was just Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
He shows up at the same party as Sonya Blade. What's going on?
For those of you looking to watch this again, we know you own it on DVD, but if you can't find it, Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
You got that Prime? You can stream that for free.
Isn't that great? Isn't that a
just
great
go
thing?
for it.
Yeah.
You go for it, and then you avoid All Saints Day at all cost.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah? Okay.
Okay, AJ,
know, man.
whatever, man.
Hey.
He's been hinting at this All Saints Day love
He
all podcast long since we started 2 years ago. We're going to find out what he actually has to say
Somehow
about it.
in our first episode ever talking about Hocus Pocus, you mentioned All Saints Day.
Wait. We're not doing All Saints Day?
God damn it.
I fucking quit.
You tricked me.
All right, so in order to properly dissect and review this movie with a modern eye, we must first discuss it with pure nostalgia. AJ, let's start with you. Tell us about the first time you saw the original Boondock Saints and what your nostalgic rating is.
I'll tell you what. I probably didn't even have to see it because there were plenty of guys walking around with kilts on my high school quoting Boondock Saints.
That should be illegal.
Unfortunately, it's not.
How many times did you get called fuck ass?
Fuck ass. I can't tell you how many times I just kept hearing these, like a couple of people just being like, "Oh, we're good. Yes, we are." I'm just like, God, stop it. All right. But I did end up watching it finally, and I don't think I saw it until like late in my high school career.
Okay.
And it was probably there was probably like a friend screening at somebody's house.
Oh, yeah.
But I watched it and I was highly entertained by it. I thought it was a lot of fun, and the hype didn't kill it for me. I was very surprised at that. And so, yeah, I think if I was going to give it the old nostalgic rating, sitting there in a dark room on a couch, probably by myself, from the other people in the room, I would probably say 6.8.
6.8. Shaun, what about you, man?
Yeah, this is a time in my life where I just consumed movie after movie. Or I was just like, I love movies. I want to be Tarantino when I grow up. I want to watch all his movies. I want to watch all the movies that were inspired by him and everything like that. And obviously, as we'll find out, this was one of them. So I just went to the movie store and got whatever I could, and this is one of them. I watched it and I fucking loved it. I loved the slow-mo violence, it reminded me of Tarantino or like John Woo and stuff like that. And then the story was just really cool. I just love the revenge aspect and just like, yeah, we're going to get ours over the crime-ridden city, and I loved it. I have to say back then it was probably like a 7.5.
Nice.
7.5 for Shaun. This was, I have a feeling many of the people listening to this are the same way that I was. I was a freshman in college living in the dorms in 2000, and
This is a 10 for Mike.
This is a fucking 10 for me. Like, this was all the dudes. One of my buddies in the dorm was like, dudes, have you heard about Boondock Saints? I was like, no. He's like, dude, oh man, like they wouldn't release it because of Columbine, and it's like it's so crazy. We need to watch it. So like 10 of us got into a dorm room, illegally drank beer, legally smoked weed, and watched this. Fucking blew my mind. I've probably watched this movie more than any other movie I've watched in my entire life.
Wow.
It is a tradition to watch this every morning on St. Patrick's Day while we're like gearing up for the parade. It just became a tradition.
While you're putting your Berettas in your coat and everything like that.
Exactly. It felt like I was onto something that no one else was onto when I first saw this movie.
I think
because
everyone
no
did.
one had seen this movie, and it became that word of mouth, that true to the form cult classic movie.
Right.
So, dudes, I am a straight up 10 for a nostalgic rating. So
is that your first 10 nostalgic?
It might be.
Okay.
You want me to check real quick?
We can. Yeah.
I'm gonna look back. No. I'm already. Rad's a 10.
Rad was a 10.
Wasn't Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles maybe a 10?
Oh yeah. I had a couple 10s. That's for sure.
A couple nostalgic 10s.
Nostalgic 10. Here's one more for you. TMNT. Yep.
Yeah.
So that gives us a nostalgic rating of 8.1 as a group, which puts us, you guys, all the way up to, let's see here. That's just above Lethal Weapon, just below Blank Check. For number 9,
Wait.
number 9. This is nostalgic rating. Nostalgic rating. This movie is not as good as Blank Check was for us as a kid.
I will say that AJ, at the age he saw Blank Check, definitely liked Blank Check more than AJ who saw Boondock Saints at that age.
Just barely.
Just a little bit more.
I don't like any of that.
more.
Man.
Hey, but that is what we do on this podcast. Nostalgia is different than modern day.
That's right.
Nostalgia's all the fuck over the board. Like, we don't even know what the fuck's going on.
Oh, it's way different.
Well, just for reference, Shaun, for our nostalgic rating, Princess Bride is the lowest score, you guys.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm just going to throw it out
It's a
there.
girl.
It's a
There's
girl movie.
There's no girls in this movie.
Girl movies.
All right, so next we like to like down all the pertinent, important details of the movie. Shaun, that is your job. You should fucking do it.
All right. Produced by Lloyd Sagan. I don't know if there's any relation to Carl. Ellie
I hope so.
Samaha and Chris Brinker. Music by Jeff Dana and Troy Duffy. Cinematography by Adam Kane. Edited by Bill Durande. And written and directed by Troy Duffy. Cast: Shaun Patrick Flannery, Norman Reedus, David De La Roca, Billy Connolly, David Ferry, Brian Mahoney, Bob Marley,
What?
and Willem Dafoe.
I don't remember seeing him.
I
in
don't
this.
remember seeing it. I don't think there was any black people in this movie, actually.
Yeah, I don't think there was.
I don't think there was.
After seeing a drug dealer take money from a corpse across the hall from his apartment, writer and director Troy Duffy was inspired to write the script for Boondock Saints. Duffy had never written anything before.
Right.
I also heard that he's working at a bar and he saw this happen to a dead child. So I don't know what story's correct and
There's
what's
a
not.
lot of stories behind how he came up with this.
Yeah. I'm sure all of them are inflated, like his ego. The film was tossed around quite a bit in Hollywood, originally being at New Line, and then Miramax wanted it, and Paramount were also wanting it, and they got into a bidding war for the script, eventually ending up at an independent studio called Franchise Pictures. So when it was at Miramax, they funded it and gave it $15 million budget, and we're going to offer Troy Duffy to have a partnership in the bar he worked at, part owner
And
of it.
full rights for his band to write.
Yeah.
They basically gave his band
A deal.
record deal,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
At the same time.
It's crazy, and they just said no.
This is an unheard of thing, especially at the time, because it's all this doesn't happen.
No.
Harvey Weinstein basically just came through and gave him everything he wanted. For this script,
and
essentially.
then took it all away.
Correct. And then took it
once
all away.
once they realized who Troy Duffy was, they're like, we're going to take that back.
Once Harvey Weinstein realized who Troy Duffy was.
So how bad?
Oh, my God.
Ugh. Gross.
I hope we get to talk about him a little bit more.
No. I would like
on.
to keep talking about Troy Duffy.
Okay, well, I don't want to talk about Harvey Weinstein.
No, that's what I mean. I hope we get to talk about him a little bit more.
No, I
so,
think we
yeah.
will, because
Okay,
it's kind of my confliction on this
Of
entire
course.
movie.
Yeah.
But Stephen Dorff, Nicky Katt, Ewan McGregor, Brendan Fraser, and Mark Wahlberg were all considered for the brothers in the film. Wahlberg turned down the role to do Boogie Nights. Good move.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet move.
Yep.
Kenneth Branagh, Patrick Swayze, Sylvester Stallone, Bill Murray, and Mike Myers, and Robert De Niro, were all considered for
Smecker.
Agent Smecker. Yeah. They, while at Miramax, they wanted Sylvester Stallone really, really bad.
Can you just real time out? Can you picture Sylvester Stallone in the role of Smecker in the scene where he's in the bed, or even like
just
the cross-dressing scene?
Like one of the most completely flamboyant and amazing characters in a movie. I can't.
No.
With the Expendables guy.
With the
No. Eventually landing on Sean Patrick Flanery and Norman Reedus and Willem Dafoe for the three main roles, and finally receiving the budget required. Filming began in Toronto, with most of the final scenes being shot in Boston. So Franchise Pictures gave it, I think, an $8 million budget, and so that's what they had to work with. The film was released on a very limited amount of screens. I think only like 5.
No, it was like 5 days and like 6 screens.
Yeah, and they just pulled it right away.
Yeah.
Limited amount of screens around the U.S., and with Columbine just happening, release studios were very hesitant to touch it. Making a deal with Blockbuster to release the film exclusively through them, the film gained notoriety through word of mouth and became a cult hit, as Mike said.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is a sticker right here. You know, it's Blockbuster ripoff. This is what we talk about all the time.
Yeah.
Good for them for making this kind of happen. You know, like it's a really cool thing. I've never really read anything, especially the movies that we've covered, of an independent film having, you know, basically a conglomerate, a rental place make their mark.
Let's do this. I mean, smart move. Have you guys seen the documentary about Troy Duffy?
Yes.
It's called Overnight.
Yeah.
I haven't.
It absolutely will blow you away. The remembrances I have of it is basically Troy Duffy's such a piece of shit egomaniac that when he got this deal, he hired his friends to like film a documentary about how he's going to be the next best thing.
Yeah.
But he was such a piece of shit that his friends basically turned it into just showing the world how shitty Troy Duffy is.
Yeah.
And it's bad, dude. Like
it was.
So is it like a bias thing, or is that?
It's hard to say.
Does that just come across?
It comes across, and I mean, like watching this, I don't care if they're spinning it a little bit. It's virtually impossible to take away any sort of love for Troy Duffy in this movie.
You can't spin the way he talks to and about people.
Gotcha.
You can't do it. He is like you said, he's egomaniac.
Yes.
And this just inflated it like really crazy.
I bet.
I think he was already that type of person.
Fucking imagine that,
I
man.
can't.
$15 million, your band just gets signed, and you own a bar now, and then you're gonna make a movie.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, yeah, his band is going to take this record deal. They are going to write the soundtrack. Essentially, the band managers are the ones who are like, I believe,
they were the ones shooting it for him,
the film for him. Like, he tries to basically say, like, I don't know what you've earned at this point. It's really bad. It's bad.
His these are a few quotes from him that will make you blow your mind.
Great.
He rejected he refused to meet with Brad Pitt.
Oh yeah, I read that.
Because he'd already played an Irishman. And then he rejected Keanu Reeves, calling him a fucking punk, and Ethan Hawke calling him a talentless fool.
Yes.
Like, you can't say that as a guy who wears fucking overalls and looks like a piece of shit. Have you listened to his band? Dude,
No.
The way he talks in this documentary is that his band will literally be the next biggest thing in the entire world, in the history of rock. They will change rock and roll. First of all, they were called The Brood. And then he had the idea to
tag
change
team
it to
wrestling in WWF.
Then he's like, I'll change the band name to the Boondock Saints.
Right.
Go on your Spotify and do Boondock Saints, and there will be one album. Just hit play on the first track. It's unlistenable.
Okay.
It is unlistenable.
The amount of people I've met while playing music in my life like that is staggering.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one stands out that sounds just like this guy, and it's just, and when I heard his band,
Jeremy.
when I heard he's like, dude, we're gonna blow your mind. When I heard his band, I'm like, I was like trying to be open minded. Like, I'm like, okay, I'll blow my mind. No.
Yeah.
You should watch it. Just imagine giving that person $15 million.
Exactly. Well, and like, see, that's another thing. And we can move this on, but like, just another thing about that is just like, imagine being so young, receiving all of this,
Yeah.
and the promise of that, and like, it's got to inflate your ego a little bit. But if you're gonna go dickhead about it, then I can't respect you.
It really went over the top.
And this could be like I don't know Troy Duffy, and we're basing
Exactly.
this
Yeah,
off of this.
Exactly.
But
We weren't there.
and I
we-
can't
you know.
imagine what it'd be like to get promised all this and then have it taken away.
Yeah.
And in fact, then I guarantee you that all these negative reviews we're going to get into critically is strictly Harvey Weinstein being like, bury that fucking movie, because he's a bigger piece of shit than Troy Duffy is. So I mean, we're dealing with just straight up piece. How many times am I going to say piece of shit? I don't know. Oh man,
As many times as they say "fuck" in this movie.
So there's our review of what's it called? The documentary.
The
Overnight.
Yeah. In fact, you should watch it. It's worth. It's like $2.99 on
Yeah.
Amazon. Just rent it. It's worth it.
It's
an interesting story.
It's super fun. One of the last things that's said in the documentary is just a note, and it says, because they did end up keeping the record deal. They got the record deal right for the band, and when it launched, they sold 690 copies of this CD in like 5 weeks, 6 weeks. In the first 6 weeks, and the record label dropped it instantly, and it was done.
When you listen to it, you'll understand why.
Okay.
All right. Well, before we get in the film review, AJ does the research for us, hooks us up with ratings and reviews. Let's hear what you got, man.
You know what we're about to do? The tomato meter. Yeah. That's a big old splat.
It's a big splat.
This is one of probably the bigger splats we've had. But I don't think the biggest. This is a 28%.
So that takes us to the bottom 6.
Okay.
That is slightly worse than Heavyweight, slightly better than the Mighty Ducks.
Oof. Okay.
I mean, I don't trust critics. But
Both
whatever.
movies that are just so much better than
Audiences disagreed wholeheartedly at 91%.
Wow.
So this is our largest discrepancy between audience and critics. I'm going to put it out there. I think this is the biggest discrepancy of any movie ever made.
It might
Quite
be.
possibly, man.
I don't know of anyone that could be that big of a difference. That's 63 points difference between the audience and the critics.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like, if we ever cover The Room by Tommy Wiseau or
Okay.
something like that, who has graced us with his presence this entire time.
he is always here watching over us.
But I wonder, like, what that difference is, because it's if it's a bad movie, like badly made, it's, as we always talk about, if it's entertaining, then it's not bad.
Right.
You know? But
Yeah.
sorry, AJ.
No, you're fine. IMDb gave it a 7.7 to fall kind of, I guess, on the favorable side of the middle.
That's tied with Princess Bride and just above Dazed and Confused.
No.
For IMDb rating for the movies we've done.
No.
How about that?
I'm taking this poster down.
I'm leaving. We should have had a Boondock Saints poster.
We should.
Everybody had one at
We
one
got
point in their
Reservoir
life.
Dogs. Now we should have
Say,
Boondocks.
out of the 4 of us in this room, there are 4 Boondock Saints posters that exist.
Guaranteed.
If we're talking about some critical reviews, I just got a good one and I got a bad one. Most of the things that you'll find, they're bad. It definitely sounds like during that documentary, when I was watching it, a journalist from the Washington Post saw Harvey Weinstein out and about, basically, and the first thing Weinstein brought up was Boondock Saints after everything else. But you never heard about the movie, she said. He is out there basically crushing this.
Yeah.
That's her take on this.
Really?
In a nutshell.
Yeah.
So
So he gave it a budget, abandoned it, and then
said
tried to smush it.
correct. Think about how much money they have, probably. I don't know. Probably the one place that was going to give this a positive review, the Boston Globe.
Yeah.
And Japan, but we don't
Boston,
speak that.
Japan. No. 75. Joan Anderman said, Duffy navigates the twisted collision of religious faith and the thrill of the kill, altruism and brutality with an ingenious mix of humor, horror, mysticism, and just plain hipness. The AV Club gave it a 30 out of 100. Nathan Rabin said, as written and directed by newcomer Troy Duffy, The Boondock Saints is all style and no substance, a film so gleeful in its endorsement of vigilante justice that it almost veers or ascends into self-parody. There's a lot of reviews. If you look at negative reviews on this, they're very serious.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
very
you're
serious.
probably diving into some religious territory
Yes.
here, and yeah.
There's a lot of they view it very like hateful, very
Yes, I can
violent,
see that.
rip off of Tarantino. Everybody's
Yeah.
talking about.
And if you're gonna rip anybody off,
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
come on. The guy who rips everybody else off.
I think I've got these in order, so I've got a few that I wanted to go through for listeners here. Okay. Ryan Beers 4 months ago
Nice.
gave this 4 out of 5 stars. He said, this movie is/was beyond as awesome as can be. This movie is beyond underrated. The main characters are perfectly cast, as are the supporting characters. All in all, this movie is excellent and a bit highly vulgar as well as highly violent, which is why this movie has very well earned its R rating for its gruesome images, as well as the vulgarity contained in this movie film, which I personally have enjoyed the vulgarity of this movie as well as the violence. I've also always felt the more vulgar / violent a movie is, the better it was. This movie is also pretty comedical, which is some of the quick quips, jokes that Doc comes up with. They're hilariously funny. Lots of emojis afterwards.
No punctuation?
Lots of capitalization.
Wow. Oh, wow. That's really, I can't even look at that
Is
right
it in
now.
all caps?
All caps.
Lots of emojis.
And then there's like points where it's not capital, so I just wanted to make sure I got his point across. So, the right
Good job,
way.
man.
Thank you.
That's why you're on this segment.
I do my best, guys. All right, well, Love and Live in Nola 10 months ago said, very entertaining movie, loved by all I know who have watched it, men and women. Okay. Isn't that really what one wants in a movie? The boorish critics will try to pick it apart, but this movie will keep you watching and interested far better and longer than many critically acclaimed movies. Examples? Cold Mountain. And I used to live near a cold mountain.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
By the way, love Renee Zellweger, but her accent was awful. Not even close to accurate. Out of Africa, The Great Gatsby, etc. Boondock Saints is more fun and doesn't take itself too seriously.
So this guy took like a film class.
Comparing the movie to Cold Mountain.
Yeah. This guy took like a film class, was watching like classic movies like Citizen Kane. He's like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
When are we going to review Boondock Saints?
Yeah. Guy or a gal, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, this is a little bit of a longer one, but this is a 10 out of 10, guys.
Okay.
All right,
Mike
this is the last
Schulte.
one. And it was from Mike Schulte. MTV Snuff Film is what it's called.
Yep, that's me.
No, actually, it's unless your username is Roadlust. May 15 of 2005.
I was a touring musician back then.
I know. Check out Brian Jones. It's on Spotify.
Is that the basis for Pink Floyd?
I hope so.
Stones.
Right. It's fitting that again, porn star Ron Jeremy has a bit part in this. Only in America could people having sex get an X rating, while the snuff film can be shown in every kiddie mall multiplex in the nation with a mere rated R.
He's got a point.
If you think that playing Grand Theft Auto while grandma visits on Mother's Day is entertaining, you'll certainly consider this wonderful fun. If you have a shred of humanity left in you, you won't. A neighbor loaned me the DVD with lavish praise and reminded me why I've never been over to her apartment. But I was so impressed and appalled, I registered with IMDb just to post this glowing tribute. Subtract the ingeniously varied F-word bleeding from the mouths of the salon-coiffed pretty boy cast, shoving their fully erect pistols into various faces and blowing brains against the walls over and over and over again. And you essentially have a silent movie of a high-speed slaughterhouse with an MTV soundtrack.
Okay.
Last part here. To understand the story of this film, you simply take the logic of the National Rifle Association, multiply by the number of executions of Governor Bush's last year in Texas, and divide by the average IQ of a 13-year-old puppy killer. But to be fair, the story, in quotes, is not really any more important than in any other porn film. Duh, it's about the killing, dude. Or even better, domination and killing. Or best of all, kick-ass rockin' and domination and killing. Check it out or save yourself further damage, depending on whether or not you're still human or not.
That was a 10 out of 10.
That was a 10 out of 10.
I don't know what it's trying to say.
I don't either.
George Bush is in there.
What I gathered from it is that they watch a lot of porn.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Ron Jeremy is
American Idol.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. And they really enjoyed this film.
But they didn't.
But right, they hated it, but they loved it.
I feel like that's
10 out of 10.
I feel like that's how you get a movie like this is like from your creepy neighbor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
Who's your creepy lady neighbor?
yeah.
Never been to her apartment.
Watch this as she's like coughing up some sort of phlegm that's gonna kill her later.
And showing it to you.
That's true.
Well, you done, Age?
I'm done, guys.
All right, we are seconds away from reviewing this movie scene by scene with a modern eye, but first, I want to tell you about my favorite way to watch movies, especially these nostalgic movies from our past. I grab my notebook and pen, I sit on my comfy couch, my cat Sergeant Meowenstein instinctively crawls into my lap, and I sip a glass of Cedar Ridge whiskey. It is the perfect way to relax my mind, ease the stresses of life, and allow me to focus on the movie without distraction. Many times I choose their incredible flagship bourbon, which was just named the #1 selling bourbon in the state of Iowa for the second year in a row, and I make an old-fashioned. Sometimes I prefer the quintessential American single malt, neat in a fancy glass. Other times I take a bottle of No. 9, their collaboration with Slipknot, and I pour it over a single large cube and let it marinate. If you're a whiskey drinker or have someone in your life who is, please stop by your local liquor store and pick up a bottle. If you don't have it available in your area, you can go online and have it shipped directly to your door. We promise that it's amazing, and we know you will love it. These guys are in our backyard and are quickly becoming one of the best whiskey distilleries in the U.S. For more information and ordering links, go to cedarridgewhiskey.com. The link is also at confusedbreakfast.com and in the episode notes. cedarridgewhiskey.com. You won't be disappointed with your decision. Please drink responsibly.
cedarridgewhiskey.com.
cedarridgewhiskey.com.
Well, I want to sip too. You got to sip while I read the whole thing. Well, my dudes, what do you say that we interpret the symbology of a dream as a call from God to kill all the evil people in the world and maybe a cat? We can gloss over the symbology of all the racism, misogyny, and homophobia because we're doing the Lord's work.
Right.
Hey, fuck ass, give me a beer. Here we go.
That's how this podcast started. It was a vision from God.
It was, dude. We're on a mission from God.
There you go.
All right, so scene number 1 in Boston. 2 Irish-American brothers, Connor and Murphy McManus, attend Mass. Later, while celebrating St. Patrick's Day with friends, a brawl ensues with Russian mobsters. The next morning, 2 of the Russians seek revenge on Connor and Murphy, but Connor and Murphy kill them. FBI agent Paul Smecker is assigned to the case. As the police begin a manhunt for the killers, Connor and Murphy arrive at the police station to clear their names. During the initial interrogation, Smecker believes their story and allows them to stay overnight in a holding cell to evade the press.
As soon as the movie started, I heard, like, the Lord's Prayer is being sung, said,
something of that nature.
Sermoned.
You got it.
And I almost fell asleep. I was just like, what other movies start out like this? Pretty much every single one of them that like involves like revenge or some sort of
Do they always
killing.
start in a church?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. It's
like
weird.
kind of, right?
Yeah.
Is it so you can feel safe because you're in a church?
Yeah,
and
maybe.
We're gonna
But
steal that safety away
I
from
wouldn't
you?
feel safe if the sermon was talking about someone getting raped and killed and their head cut off. Like, what are you like? There's literally children in this church.
Yeah.
And you're talking about someone getting like murdered and raped and stuff like. Wow, no one did anything, and they all watched.
The killer walked away. Now,
Thanks, Father McCaffrey, for joining us. Let's talk about rape.
Father McElpenny.
McElpenny, sorry.
Well, and actually, the Kitty Genovese story has been debunked
That's-
forever. It's like
yeah.
not even a real story.
That's
None of
unreal.
the things he said was essentially true in that story. So he's basically just spewing lies to help put this thought into our brother's head of the indifference of good
and to
men,
get
right?
money out of it. I'm sorry.
Sorry, wrong. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you this. If you see 2 skinny white guys stand up in the middle of church
With trench coats,
with big jackets
big
on
old jackets.
and walk to the front of it, say a prayer, and then kiss the feet at the base of that statue.
By the way, ew.
Yeah, you don't know what's been there. You get the hell out of that church immediately.
Yeah.
You do not stick around for those guys to make any decisions whatsoever. Okay? No. They're not just going to turn around because that situation 9 times out of 10 does not go that way.
Nope.
All right.
And growing up in the Catholic Church myself, we used to get yelled at pretty hard for leaving after communion because my family's like, let's get the fuck out, beat everybody out of the parking lot.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They didn't even make it through the sermon and they're
didn't.
leaving.
Yeah.
Sorry, got to go to work.
Father's homily is going on. They just stand up in the middle.
They weren't even listening. They were praying during the fucking sermon. They
pretty
weren't even
rude.
listening. Yeah.
Technically, Mass is just interrupting their time in the church. That's what's basically happening here.
I just don't get, like, I know they go to church later in the film, but they have to be there? Like they could just do it in their shitty loft apartment above a bar?
You don't get it, man. The Irish Catholics, dude.
Yeah, they have to be there.
You have to be there.
You got to be there, bro. Can I ask about when he said, is it Murphy says to Connor that like Monsignor's finally getting the point?
I do believe the Monsignor's finally got the point.
Got the point. And what
the indifference of good men is what he's questioning. You know, he's questioning like why don't we do something when there's evil in the world?
Right.
Like, why do we just stand by and let it happen?
So
that's what the sermon was about.
Are we assuming that they've had conversations with him about this then or something?
I think we're assuming that they have believed this all their life and that like the Monsignor's finally got the point.
I see. Okay.
You know?
It just didn't. There wasn't much like to it.
No,
I'm just
there's
asking.
There's a lot of things that Troy Duffy goes overboard in so many aspects of this film. Like Shaun, you're into the making of films and the dissection of that. Like whenever they put up who the person is on the screen and like pause and go, this is their name, this is where they're from, this is what they do for the guy they work for. Yeah. It's like, okay, like we couldn't just figure that out in the story. Yeah. So like he overly tells some things, but then in some things he just like the dream later that we'll get to. There's like, wait, what happened?
There's like a lot of influences happening all in one thing, and then like as we'll get to it, it just kind of falls apart a little bit for me. Yeah. But like it's definitely like a Guy Ritchie touch. Right. You know, like that's the first thing I thought of was like, oh, they're doing the Snatch thing, like the Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels thing. Yeah. What do you guys think of like the intro credit montage after like the cold open?
Like the work, you mean at work?
Like the meat packing plant and everything like that.
It might be the nostalgia talking, but I think it's pure perfection. Because
like
this fucking song, as an Irishman myself that's about ready to celebrate the real St. Patrick's Day, not the one on the Saturday before, you know, like it's a beautiful song. It's called the Blood of Cuckoo Lane, composed by Jeff Dana and Michael Dana.
So not
Lane,
Troy Duffy.
No.
Okay.
Cuckoo Lane was like Celtic mythology or whatever. But I love when there's a good song mixed with actual things that are happening to advance the plot of sorts. Like
it does get like this sort of mix of tones across because there's just like the serious Catholic Church and then there are two brothers fucking around and stuff. You know, like if someone slapped me in the face with like a huge rack of fucking ribs, I imagine that is, your nose would bust in fucking a million pieces. Like that looked brutal. Yeah. I don't know if that was like fake or not, or like they just got like it looked real.
Looked real to me. Looked real to me. And then he starts going at him with that tongue. Yeah, I get it. Oh, they're the plucky Irish brothers who work in the meat packing plant. Oh, that's just the brothers.
Everyone likes them.
Everybody does like them.
Everybody loves them.
except the bid lady.
Wow.
Yeah, she does not like them.
That's the beginning of some of the tropes in the movie, or some of the things that are kind of like maybe back then you're like, oh, this is awesome, and now you're kind of like, you know, like there's a little bit of weird tone going on there. Like she clearly does come at them in a very bitchy manner of like,
aggressive
hey, dude,
way.
It's just St. Patrick's Day, we're having fun, but yet they're also like punching a lady. He punches a lady, just decks her.
You know what? He getting that kick to the nuts, that looked real. Okay, that looked real, and I'll tell you what, is. And I love the fact that the manager sees this all happen, right?
It's happened before.
Oh yeah, he's like, oh, not again, dang it. But then he's at the bar drinking with them later.
Completely. Because everybody loves the McManus brothers.
I feel like he had to fire him because of that. But he's just like, I'm sorry, fellas.
But they understood.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we know.
We were actually hoping to get fired today because it's St. Patrick's Day. So we
can be hungover and shit tomorrow and possibly kill somebody.
Yeah. Did you pick up on a lot of the things I over dissected this movie for when back in the day? Like, I mean, I tried to think real hard about some of this stuff. Troy Duffy made a serious point to make these brothers do things in unison. I don't know if you noticed it, but
cigarette lighting.
Oh, the cigarette lighting. They're always walking on the same feet. Everywhere they walk, they're side by side. Everything they do is in almost perfect unison. Just putting this like crazy bond between the two of them. It's this subconscious way of showing how tight they are and how in unison they are. I always thought that was pretty cool.
That is cool. I didn't really notice that.
Yeah. That's I didn't pick up on it either.
Well, how about that Back to the Future ripoff joke from Doc?
yeah.
The Russian. Why don't you make like a tree and get the fuck out of here?
Get the fuck out of here.
Obviously adding an F-bomb to it. But like, that whole bar scene, that's like what I want the bars to be like.
That's what I want to do on St.
Yes,
I don't want to like bar hop. I want like my buds in one place. Just like a place we're comfortable in and just fucking drink the whole goddamn night.
And it legitimately looks like they're having the best time.
Oh, yeah.
Doc's
just
bar
8 of them have. And Troy Duffy is actually in that scene.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the fucking guy in the overalls weird.
Pretty much it's all Troy Duffy's band. Like, and are the other people that they're hanging out with. They work in the plant and they're there at the bar. And I recognized finally. I went back and saw Troy Duffy there, and I was like, "There he is!
There he is!
There's overalls,
overalls, McGonagall,
overnight overalls." I like the aspect of them too, like loving this bar so much that they'll like literally beat up Russian mafia dudes, like the most brutal mafia in the world.
Big ass dudes.
Huge dudes, just to protect it. Like, I like that. Like, no, this is our shithole, you know?
Yeah. You can't have it, okay?
Exactly.
We made it this way.
McGinty. So, Shaun, what do you think nowadays about this we see what's about to happen, and then it goes away. And then we get to like be like, holy shit, what the fuck happened? Like, As a kid in college, I just thought this was the coolest fucking shit I've ever seen, and it blew my mind that I'm like, oh shit, okay, now what happened? Like, we're gonna figure out what happened. This is awesome. Like, it's so good. Yeah. How does that hold up nowadays for you?
I think it's still a cool idea.
Yeah,
I really do. I think it's obviously Tarantino, so much in there of that, you know. But it's cool to have the aspect of like an investigation, like a detective trying to figure out what happened, with that kind of trope. And this is back in the day when everyone was like starting to do that, you know, like obviously he took it from Tarantino, but why not? You know, it's a really cool idea and it works.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work 6 or 7 fucking times.
Okay.
I will get to it, but like I was like, while watching, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember like they do like the time thing, and like at Breaking Bad, like a lot of AMC shows will just do that now. They'll do like the cold open, like, oh, how did we get here?
How did we end up here?
You know, everyone does it now, and it's basically because of these movies. And this one
that's
included.
true.
I think it was. I like it. I enjoy it. I think it's fun, and it still did work for me.
Yeah,
I was all in.
It still makes me excited. Like, oh fuck yeah! I like you want it now. Even knowing the movie, you can't wait for the bar fight. But then they make you wait. You're like, oh, shit.
I know.
Okay, fine. We got to meet Smecker first.
Yeah, it's cool. Dude,
and his Sony Walkman.
Dude, did that so many times. But I had Jenko jeans, so I had the huge pocket so I could fit it in.
Did you have the anti-skip, though?
Which
was a total lie, but you had it at least, right?
He was probably walking way too fast and hard for that not to be skipping.
God damn it.
Oh, God.
Shit, hold on.
I can't detect.
There's no way.
Oh, my batteries ran out.
who's put my bass boost on?
No, not for classical.
Oh, sorry.
Who's the shithead detective that he always makes fun of?
It's Greenlee. That which is Bob Marley.
Bob Marley. He would have him go get double
crazy
batteries.
makeup. But.
Dude, I love the
talk about whiteface.
I think Greenlee's one of my favorite characters in this movie.
It's kind of fun,
and I love the dynamic between those 3 detectives and Smecker as this movie goes on. You've got Greenlee, Dolly, and Duffy.
Yeah,
yes.
Like I just love that aspect of this movie and how they're always like fucking with each other.
Yeah.
Even when they get out of the elevator, they go up to the top, and Greenlee's like, I ain't getting him no fucking bagel, and Duffy just goes.
They've been dealing with each other's shit for so long. Yeah. You know they have, and apparently they must be so bad at their job that it takes 3 of them on a case to do this.
And they pawn everything off on Duffy, where he's just like. The first scene was seeming just like
that is pretty good.
I love that establishing shot. Just
all right. So these 2 are kicking the shit out of each other, right?
Where are you going? Nowhere. Fucking nowhere.
That's probably a line that a lot of people
said
in high school.
Oh yeah.
Willem Dafoe. I think he is the reason I would ever watch this movie again.
Really?
Absolutely one of the craziest performances ever. Like, I think he's having such a blast with this.
Looks like it.
And it's definitely shows. And I can't. Every movie he's in, he elevates. And pretty much everything he's in I like.
Yeah.
But this is just like, this is his platform to just fucking go crazy. And he does, man. It's so much fun to watch him. Yeah. Every time he's on screen, I'm like, this is why this movie's good. You know,
you get to see a little bit of in the overnight documentary of Duffy talking to Willem Dafoe a little bit, kind of giving him direction in the big shootout scene, like later on in the movie, which is really cool. And like he gives him some good direction, but then Dafoe's just like, he's like, and then how does it end? And he's like, well, you'll do this, and then I'll yell cut, and that's how it'll end. Okay.
That's it. He's got such great like just little mannerisms. Like he walks down the alleyway, he finds the bullet hole, and he solves the case, and he starts walking back, and he's doing this, and all of a sudden he just goes. He just shakes his head like, okay, I got to get back into tough detective mode.
Shakes it out.
Just a little subtlety there that he's just so good at.
I love all the character quirks like that.
Yeah.
Where he's like, I have to listen to classical music to do my thing. Like I love that. And like later on in the movie, like maybe he's not such a good detective. We'll get to it, but I don't know. It's probably maybe up there for my favorite Dafoe roles. He's so good at
He kills it.
I agree. He's definitely putting on a show for these guys, it feels like. Or at least he's schooling them for sure. And the other guys
That's
are
who
just,
the fuck I am.
Yeah, that's right. And the other three are literally just in school right now. That's all they're doing. They're just learning from him, and he's teaching along the way, which is actually kind of neat in the character dynamic. So
yeah, it's cool.
So after they solve it, we get to go back into time, and there's something that has always bothered me. This is the stuff that maybe I'm too much of a perfectionist, that I can't understand how this still was like this to the final cut. Rocco, yo, Boris, what would you do if I told you that your pinko commie mother sucks so much dick that her face looked like an egg? But he gets punched like halfway through saying face looks like an egg, but keeps saying it. Like it's really bad. It's like unbelievably noticeable. And I don't understand how that can stay there.
I kind of like that. I know what you're saying though. Like
it's like
technically,
because your face looks like an egg.
Yeah, technically he's saying it like he's got it all out before the punch.
Yes,
but I like the aspect that he's so ignorant and so like self-centered that he's just like he's gonna get it out whether or not he's being punched or not. You know,
regardless, he's going to.
Yeah. Oh my god, and that bar fight scene is just so fucking awesome.
I think this is the big break into the movie.
Yeah,
this really lets you know what you're in for.
If you're a 19-year-old kid and you weren't into it yet, you're into it. Yeah. You're very into this movie.
Or you're like 13 and watching this for the first time, and you're way more like, oh, is that what bars are like? Oh God!
Do you think bars are going to be a bigger problem?
No, I really thought bars were going to be a scarier place.
Is that guy a Russian?
I was like, oh my God! My dad said he's going to the bar. I go, no, he shouldn't go there.
That dude's bald and he's got a little bit of a beard. He must be Russian. Oh fuck,
dude! And then maybe one of the things I think I've always loved most about this movie is the bond that this movie portrays between Connor and Murph. Like I did find a bonding moment in it with my brother too about this, because like I definitely showed him this movie and I'm like, dude, it's so cool how tight these brothers are. And I think one of those moments is when the mobsters come in and handcuff him to the toilet. And they take Murph away. Well, that look that Murph turns around and gives Connor, like, bro, I love you, but like, you better fucking save me.
Yeah,
what's we're gonna do this.
Figure something out.
We're gonna figure this out. And then like I know I fully believe him pulling that toilet off.
Yeah,
I do.
Like I fully believe. I'm not even gonna say you can't do that, because I'm like, he did it.
Yeah. I'm with you.
He did it.
Yeah.
And then threw the fucking toilet off the roof. Can you imagine getting hit by a toilet from 5 stories?
No,
lights
because
fucking out, man. Yeah,
you're dead.
Lights out. Done for. Even like when he finishes the guy off with the top, with the bowl.
Think about how heavy those are.
Not the bowl, the tank.
Yeah, the lid or whatever.
He just batted like that. I've seen that several times in movies like Saw or something like that, you know, and that would fucking destroy somebody.
Yeah, you're done at that point.
Yeah, but I do like how there's inserts of the bullet holes. Like that's what he's talking about. That's why he pointed.
And they show everything that he talked about.
Yeah, it's really smart. It's really cool.
Yeah, man.
Look, Plumbing 101, you could have just gone back and unscrewed the actual outgoing, into there, and then just kind of worked your arms up and around the thing.
Nope.
That's okay. That's fine. But he did end up actually jumping technically 6 stories because they live on the 5th floor.
So
they were on the... If that's the
We're
top,
going to the 5th.
if that's the top floor, then he's technically on the top, which would be
so
6th, right?
6, yeah.
Which, if you account for inflation,
13 stories.
it's essentially just over 10 stories in today.
Let me reference the numbers.
That's not how that works.
Oh wait. Oh, sorry.
Shit.
Sorry. Either way, it's really freaking high.
He's become this guy too much on the show, or we've just tainted him.
Actually,
anytime there's numbers, he's like, "Well, you need to account for inflation if he's 6 years old. Technically, he's 12.
If you don't know, 99."
All right, let's move this on. So that night, Connor and Murphy receive a vision from God telling them to destroy all that is evil. They learn of a meeting of Russian syndicate bosses and kill them all. Rocco, a friend of the brothers and errand boy for the local mafia boss Papa Joe Iacovetta, is also sent to infiltrate the meeting. Learning that he was betrayed, Rocco commits himself to helping Connor and Murphy after some drunken partying. Once again, Agent Smecker is brought to the front of the murder case. We did talk about that, but there's just no explanation for this dream.
I mean, I've seen countless messages from God scenes in movies, but this is just like the ceiling pisses on them, and then they have this vision collectively together.
I mean, I'd wake up in a shock too if I had water pouring all over me.
Yeah, that would be. I don't know if I'd get a message from God. I'd be like, I have to piss now. Like, where am I?
Why did we agree to stay here?
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I'm guessing there's some overly religious applications here. That's like baptism,
right?
That rainwater is baptism, and they're having the same dream, waking up at the same time, finishing the sentences of each other.
Yeah,
I buy it for the movie.
Yeah, for the movie, totally. But it's just like maybe there could have been a little more explanation,
just a little bit more, man. Just anything more. I guess you kind of get it I had to turn on the subtitles the last time I watched this movie for research and stuff, because there's a lot of like glossed over dialogue. I feel like, and I didn't catch a lot of it until like the very last watch. This is kind of that, and what's nice is you get to read the dialogue of like the prayers or the what the dad is saying or whatever in their heads.
Yeah, and
I think that kind of helps. Like the prayers are a more like deep version of like the mission now. The mission from God.
Yeah.
They're just the Boone brothers is what they are.
Boone brothers.
They're on a mission from God. And it's just a lot bloodier.
At this point, can we talk about like the brother? You mentioned they seem like brothers for sure.
Yeah.
But what do we think of like the actors portraying the brothers and everything like that?
Well, keep in mind, like Norman Reedus is a mega star worldwide because of The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Like right now in the world.
Yeah, he had a
now.
whole campaign like "Don't Kill Daryl" or whatever.
But
but
he was pretty much an unknown person at this point. And I thought
he's in Blade 2, Blade 2.
Just a few movies at that point. But I love Sean Patrick Flanery. I love Norman Reedus. I do buy them as twin fraternal brothers.
I really can't see anybody else in these roles.
Yeah.
My only thing with Norman Reedus, his accent goes more out than in ever in this entire like I turn on the subtitles, they're just like, what?
Yeah.
What kind of language was that? And it's just like I get it.
In and out, doesn't it?
I get it. He's not like the best actor of all time. But he serves this role and he does fine.
Sean Patrick Flanery's accent's
probably
a little over the top, but I think it's pretty good.
I mean, it sounds like he's Irish.
Yeah.
I
think I actually thought he was Irish too.
Is he not?
Yeah, I don't think he. Well, I think he speaks in English like an American does.
Sure. But he's Irish.
But I'm sure he's of descent.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he's got to be.
It's one of the over the top point for me is after they kill the Russian syndicate in the. Oh, what do you think is in that little bag back there?
The little case over there.
The little case over there. And he does like the quick stomp, the T stomp, and I'm just like, oh, there's the cheeky Irish brothers again.
But that feels so brotherly of them,
It does.
And there's a dynamic between Connor and Murph that I really love. That Connor, being Sean Patrick Flannery, is sort of like he's the older one.
Yeah.
and he's a little bit more like, no, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
I'm the responsible one. We have to do this. Where Murph goofs off a lot more, but he's also more emotional. Like he's like, oh fuck it, like he'll fly off the handle more, and like Connor has to bring him down. I've overanalyzed a lot about this movie, and it's in it. That stuff works really well for me. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but
no, I don't think you are. I agree with you. Like their whole brotherly love,
dynamic.
I guess, brother dynamic is perfect. I think it's perfectly executed. Like I didn't notice the in sync kind of movements they had, and I love that about it. I mean, as we talk about like their relationship, the movie's kind of going up for me,
right?
As far as ratings,
it's well balanced, I guess, is all I can say about it. It's like you say, one's a little bit more evened out, and then the mature, and then the other's the younger kid, but he a little more emotional. I like that. Yeah,
you know.
Sorry.
No, I was gonna say, you know who I also like? I really like Papa Joe Iacovetta.
So funny.
I don't know why I like him so much.
You insignificant cunt.
Insignificant cunt.
Bastardo. Little fuck.
Little fuck.
Revert to me for movie quotes. I've seen it a million times.
He's got it all in his head right now.
I can't even say that
taking
the way
all the
he
fun
does.
Out of the job.
Yeah.
I love
Out of the job.
I like. Like
I'm having a shitty day.
Tell me a joke. He's like, he puts his hand.
Funny mad.
Continue joke.
But he like plays. You think, oh, he's kind of a nice guy. He seems real nice, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh god, no, you don't fuck with this guy.
And
just that look he gives.
The joke that Rocco says is, we're not gonna repeat it, but I said that so many times.
Of course,
in high school, and like I was like, you gotta hear this joke. It's so funny.
Oh jeez.
Well, so if someone finds a tweet of me doing that, don't cancel me. But
well, what do you think about? Can we talk about the PC-ness of this movie? Like,
sure,
how it doesn't exist.
Well,
yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well, I don't know if that's what you were getting at.
A little bit. I think we can bring it up. It's there's not a lot of women in this movie, and when
there's like 3,
and when they are on screen, they're treated like horrible garbage. And there's not a lot of nice things said about anybody else that's not white.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of colorful language in Tarantino scripts too. Like he's got a bunch of flack for having the N-word in his movies over and over and over again. It's just like those are the characters, and this is the world that we're in. I'm not okay with it. I won't say, but it's just like this is a fictional playland that we're in.
Have either of you guys ever been to Boston?
Have not.
One time.
You've been?
I flew in and then I drove out.
Okay, so I was gonna say, have you been to like South Boston?
No.
There's all these movies that talk about South Boston and like this, and they get into in this. They're like, well, this is an Irish neighborhood. I'm surprised you got to call it all. Like so, it's kind of an interesting play on race for like this Irish neighborhood. This is like Irish versus Italian versus Russian, and that's an interesting play on it. But yeah, you're right. You don't see a lot of people of color. You don't see a lot of like women. You just don't. But it's weird. But it's the way he wrote it, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of like it feels kind of smart. Some of these bad things, like because you're identifying with Rocco because Rocco has to tell the joke that excuse me. Rocco has to tell the joke that he thinks is a funny joke. It's just a joke.
Yeah.
It's just comedy. I mean, comedy should just be able to be funny.
If someone told that joke on a stage, I'd laugh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But Rocco doesn't want to say the bad words, but
right.
but he has to. So you kind of relate with Rocco to be like, oh shit, okay, I have to say these words because these guys are super racist, and I'm just a funny guy. Like Rocco seems like he likes everybody and doesn't seem like a racist, To
put it in a little bit more context too, like there's not like any black people or like Hispanics or anything like in this movie, but like there's little to no white people in Jordan Peele movies, and I love his movies.
Yeah.
And I want him to keep doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
It's just like this is the way that it is, this movie.
And then even with like the Smecker stuff, first of all, I don't understand why the gay aspect of Smecker was even needed to be in this movie.
Yeah.
It felt like just a weird forced thing. But even in that, like if you want to spin it, it feels like a play on like the tough, like how the the tough police detective can't let anybody know he's gay.
Yeah.
Even though no one seems to care, everyone knows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think I like that aspect that he's gay in this movie because it's just like the flamboyant detective is like a really
who thinks no one knows.
Yeah, like a really fun thing to watch, and like when he does his like transformation later, it's really cool. I'm like I just love him. I love this character so much that I'll watch him do anything.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I'll be honest with you. Like when I watched this for the first few times, I did not realize he was gay until like some obvious scenes.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I was like, oh, so is he though still? I still don't know if he is.
Yeah.
It's like,
Even
to be
the
honest,
detectives nudge each other.
Yeah.
Like in the very beginning, they're like, oh shit.
yeah, it's like, wait, he just touched his shoulder. And it's like, okay, you're over the top. But
Somebody can touch somebody's shoulder.
It's
and
okay.
Be non-sexual about it.
just chill, okay. But then at the same time, like there are like the obvious scenes where like he's in bed with his lover. There he's at the bar, and there are still times that I'm just like, but is he?
Yeah. You don't even know.
I think you're right. He's like trying to put up the I'm an FBI agent. And
I am an FBI agent. All right, most punchable face is the fat man, Russian boss. The Russian boss in the middle of the room.
Yeah,
man.
The guy that looks.
Sputnik
Yes.
Russia!
Oh my God.
Like that is, I don't feel like you guys can offer anyone that's a more punchable face.
He
than
looks like
I
a
don't
wax
think I
museum
can.
version of Arnold Schwarzenegger with a bowl cut. And I would want to punch that every day.
Every day as I walk out of my bedroom to the restroom to use the bathroom.
Exactly. You know how like wax museum wax people are like uncanny, like
They're not.
It looks like them, but not quite.
It's
Like, and with a bowl cut, you're like, yeah, I'm punching your fucking ass.
I'm just so no disputing here.
Not dispute.
I don't have any dispute to that. I was actually having a tough time coming up with it for this one, and I'm glad you said that because that's an ace in the hole.
Well, did you come up with a prop? Because I want that sandwich that Papa Joe was eating. Even
Oh,
though it was thin on the meat, I still that hoagie looked real good.
I know, right?
Like, I don't know why he was mad about that.
You
But
know what it reminds me of? This is going to get very particular to our area in the world, but it looks like a gondola sandwich from what's the Italian restaurant?
from yeah,
Zio John's?
Zio John's.
If you kind of did.
If you know anything about Zio John's, it looks like a gondola sandwich without the cheese.
That's what you go there for, is those sandwiches.
That's correct.
I don't care who you
It's
are.
all about the bread, baby.
It is. What's your prop?
My prop? Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to be on the. I feel like it's probably something inside of that like IRA gun chamber.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
When they flip
hate
those lights on.
I hate the gun dealer performance. I always have.
He's pretty
Knock
bad.
yourselves out.
I was like,
Yeah.
knock yourselves out. I don't know why it irks me so much.
He's really cool.
Well, he's just happy to be making some deals because I don't think people are buying. I mean, all the shelves were still full.
It was probably
of guns, so.
one of Troy Duffy's. It was probably the bass player in Troy Duffy's band.
No, it was some guy he met out at the night before. He was like, dude, you'd be really cool in my movie. She should be in my movie. I wear overalls.
It's gonna be the biggest thing ever. You seen Reservoir Dogs?
I want Il Duce's cigar.
Cool.
Nice.
And I'll tell you why later on.
Okay.
Okay, I was gonna go for the Russian Desert Eagle, but certain times, I'm gonna ixnay that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for. Oh man.
I mean, you already have trench coats, so you don't.
Yeah,
need
you don't need any more trench
Yeah,
coat.
I got them all.
You don't need a pea coat.
It came across my mind, and so I'm glad you guys said that.
Right.
I think I'm gonna go for the picture on the wall where they shot the cat.
Okay.
Whatever picture that
They
was.
put up on the wall.
I love
They put up a piece of paper over the
I love
blood
that.
stain of the cat. That's something drunk people would do. Just be like, we got to clean this up, but we'll do it tomorrow. Just put up a photo on top. We'll get there. I really like this secondary scene now where we're watching this happen, and I like how it doesn't go right.
Yeah.
But then that's how it goes right. And the religious side of that is that like God is on their side,
Right.
and that he allowed this to perfectly happen because otherwise they wouldn't have been able to kill all 9 people.
True.
There's no way. Never would have happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a cool scene.
I like the coins in the eyes to pay the ferryman or whatever the hell, and I like after the fact, after they kill everybody, and Rocco's sent there being quote unquote set up.
Jafar.
Oh
my gosh, maybe I want the name tag.
I like how they look through the seeing eye thing through the door and like, we've got to fuck with
We
it.
have to fuck with it. And then he goes, yeah, let's go. You had to think about it for 1 second.
I'm like, that's such like a brotherly thing. You know?
Dude,
Rocco's really like a third brother to him.
And this scene is so funny to me because Rocco's reaction when he finally realizes what's happened.
Yeah.
He thought he was going to die, but now he's like, oh, these are my two friends.
And they
holy shit,
8
they
people.
just murdered 9 people.
9 people.
How many bodies? 8?
8.
9? Forgot about that one.
Forgot about that one. 9?
But
9?
that would be like AJ walking into a room somewhere and seeing me and Shaun had just killed 9 Russian mobsters.
Yeah.
Like you would have the same, what the fucking fuck? Who the fucking fuck?
Because you work at a meat packing plant, guys.
You go to church every day.
Yeah.
Certainly illustrates the diversity of the word.
Diversity of the word.
Do you know how many times they said fuck in this movie?
Oh, like 300 at least.
246.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Damn. That's a lot of F-bombs.
and it works.
Yeah,
for me.
I suppose it does.
As a pure lover of the word fuck, I love it.
Have you there's only a few movies in the world that you should play the drinking game every time they say the F word. One is this and the other Superbad.
Oh.
So if you ever want to watch this movie and have more fun than you should, go ahead and have a drinking game every time they say the fuck.
Play Mario Kart after.
And play Mario Kart after.
Makes me feel like river dancing. All right, so scene 3. Rocco kills some of Iacovetta's men at the deli later in retaliation. That night, the trio hunt down and kill Vincenzo Lapazian, underboss of the Iacovetta crime family. Concerned he may be a target, Papa Joe contacts a hitman, Il Duce, to deal with them. After killing several more criminals, the brothers and Rocco are ambushed by El Duce, leading to an intense shootout. The 3 return to a safe house where they treat their wounds. Pack your shit! Pack your shit! And he's putting like pots and pans in his bag.
The first thing he goes
vinyl.
for. The vinyl. First thing he goes for. I think I saw like a Carly Simon or something like that.
Pack your shit! Pack your shit!
He goes for the vinyl and then an iron.
Dude, so David Del Rocco, which is his real name, which they didn't change it. They're just like, here's your movie, here's your name for the movie. Had never acted before.
Yeah.
And at times you can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, this entire fucking scene where he comes back in the apartment and his interaction with the girls
dude.
is like, it's probably my favorite.
It's
scene.
unbelievable.
It's unreal.
He's Troy Duffy's friend, and like he didn't change his name because he's that way in real life. You know, like
he just said, be yourself."
Yeah, just be Rocco, and just like a more elevated version of it, like killing people and telling bitches to fuck up. I'm sure he probably did that too.
My favorite.
I mean, yeah.
Possibly what I think is one of the absolute funniest moments in the entire movie is shut the fuck up, Ravy.
Shut your fat ass, Ravy.
Fat ass, Ravy.
I can't go buy a pack of smokes without running into 9 guys you fucked. I mean, like, I mean, holy fucking shit.
That had to have been improv, right?
It's
I want to
funny.
say, come on, that is a very
It's
very
so
funny.
I think if you polled everybody in their entire life that has seen this movie, 90% of them would go to that scene and be like, "Oh God, remember that scene where Rocco was like flipping his shit?"
Yeah,
it's just unbelievable.
Yeah,
I mean, we can't. We have to mention like the best line in the entire movie, and I had a shirt probably under my trench coat as a kid when I watched this movie. Is it dead?
Is it dead?
I mean, it's just. That is so. I was watching this. I'm like, it's not gonna be funny this time, and I'm like, God damn it, that's fucking funny.
It's still funny. I can't believe that just fucking happened.
Is it dead?
Is it dead?
The whole thing obliterated, dude.
Oh,
I feel so sad every time I see it,
is.
and then they do bring it back. They bring back the humor.
That's some of the things about this movie that, we can look back on it and we can talk some shit about it, but there was genuine moments of surprise the first time you saw this movie.
Yeah.
Like that was one of them. Like, what the fuck?
But that's like a Pulp Fiction thing.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
100% Pulp Fiction. Where
Just
it's
lull
like,
you into
you
some safety.
never saw that coming. You know?
Man.
You know, I thought we were dipping nuts in marinara sauce, and then all of a sudden we're killing cats.
Marinara sauce.
So that fat bastard.
You get a taste of home while they're at it.
My pathetic little dick.
I don't know. It just might be my affinity of trench coats and pea coats in general, but he didn't have to shoot through his pea coat.
I know he didn't have to ruin it.
That's what I was thinking the whole time. I mean, like it's a cool cinematic thing,
and I think it probably helped them out in the long run to make it look like a real.
Yeah.
They probably had a pack on, like a blow pack on. His head or something.
He's like, we got to cover this one up, like, make this one a little bit more cheaper. And we'll
he'll never know that you're gonna shoot him through this coat. He'll never have a clue.
I don't know. What do you guys think about like in the movie anyway, like him killing these people? Like I understand, like they set him up and everything.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I just feel like first of all, I feel like the two guys in the booth, I'm like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, at least we got a funny band back, huh?
Which I think they were they were good performances.
Yeah,
I like those guys.
I'm just saying, they still seem like douches.
Yeah,
to me.
I think the guy on the right was a new kid on the block. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, okay.
I think so.
No, like in the group.
Like in the band.
Yeah, in the band.
We're gonna get taken care of.
They know we're good
They
fellas
know we're
now.
good fellas now. And then I always felt bad though when he went and capped Sal.
Yeah.
That fat fuck knew before we did.
And I was like, don't.
But
Every
this-
single time.
Dive in deeper.
Funny,
This is
funny.
well. So by the way, that song playing in the background is the Boondock Saints,
Which I liked a little bit.
it's the one that'll be starred on Apple Music because it's the one that everyone would actually want to listen to.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I liked it a little bit.
Yeah. But it plays to this. If you want to dive in deep on this, the brothers are protected by God here, and they are making decisions from God and working through him. Rocco is not.
Right.
Rocco, and that's why he eventually dies, is because he is not a part of this group.
Right.
He does not make the right decisions. He's just killing random people. You know, like that's the idea of it, I guess, is that he's showing his impurity.
Flyers.
Yeah. I don't know if I like that about it. What do you guys think? Like, because he's like obviously using the brothers to like fulfill his own thing, but they are evil people that that they're telling him to kill.
I'm very conflicted about Rocco. Do I like the character? Yeah. Do I like him as a part of the group that's making the kills? Absolutely not.
Seems like a bad call to bring him on.
Yeah.
100%, right? And but at the same time, Rocco should be the guy who stays behind but gave you the information. And you'd have him as a bug in your ear, and he'd be comedy relief and Mission
Dude,
Impossible.
You're right.
And like that's what he should be. And then he would be the guy who shows up who hid in the back of the car and was like, I just wanted to go out and do it with you guys one time.
Yeah.
And that's who Rocco is to me.
And that would have set up perfectly for a sequel where his existence matters.
Yeah, exactly.
with the sequel is like he shows up like, what the fuck?
Why are you here?
Yeah.
You forced this one, didn't you? You just wanted him back.
Yeah,
And
some fan service.
I get it.
And he takes him to the titty club to bump off Ron Jeremy, and it's like they just don't even question it at all, too.
Yeah.
That's sort of bad call on their part. They're just like, okay.
Another favorite moment when he looks back and sees Rocco's mask. He's like, put it back on. You look fucking scary, man.
That was a good moment.
Scary, man.
There's like fucking Fat Albert references. You're like, what the fuck is going on? But I'm glad he's there for these type of scenes because it's really funny.
It is very funny, and he is the one making mistakes. He's the one why Smecker sees like, well, why this Kennedy assassination bullet situation, bullets from the wrong guns. Like he's the one leaving these breadcrumbs essentially to keep Smecker kind of on the trail. Unknowingly. So
I do like that aspect when he's getting fed up with the whole Smecker is getting fed up with the whole investigation of the strip club or whatever. He starts to walk out and he's like, oh, wait. And he does the whole cross arm gun thing. It's a cool thing. And again, it's just a testament to Willem Dafoe being a fucking amazing actor. But I love that scene a lot. I think like, cause then again, he's asking these other three detectives, quote unquote, like, are all of these crimes related? And he's getting like really, really fed up with them, with not like knowing if they are or not. It's like, you don't know either. And so is he a good detective?
Well, there's an interesting thing that happens here. Smecker is unbelievably smart at the beginning of this movie, and he knows exactly what happens, and he slowly does not know what happens.
Yeah.
Like by the end, he goes 6 guys with guns.
Right.
In this next scene, when they actually in the background show 6 guys walking out with guns.
True.
Right.
But it's not. And Greenlee is the piece of shit at the beginning that doesn't know anything.
Greenlee, yeah.
That gets better. At this point, he says, well, that's the thing. They're all bad guys.
Yeah.
And Smecker's like, you don't know what you're talking about. And then Greenlee even says, well, what if it's one guy with 6 guns?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, he's becoming the better detective as Smecker's getting worse. It's a weird crossover.
Well, it's that, or this situation is so absolutely obnoxious and stupid that and happenstance. Like the entire time, it's all just happenstance. Yeah. And Greenlee just thinks in happenstance. well, what if it was one guy with 6 guns? well,
that's a really good point.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Well, I don't know. I think they're all bad guys. So maybe that's
they're all dead bad guys.
They're all dead bad guys now. It's like, okay, Greenlee, thank you. It's like Smecker's overthinking it at this point, which I guess it's a great play on the fact like he's overthinking and Greenlee is clearly underthinking, but he's right.
But he's becoming
You're
right.
right.
Sometimes simple is better.
Correct.
KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
And I still think every time that this scene where they go to the safe house to kill this crazy guy that Rocco knows.
Yeah.
I still think that this is beautiful and like perfection of filmmaking. Like how now we're not doing the whole like let's figure out what happened first and then we'll go back and show you. Now they're happening together at the same time, and there's that perfect moment of where Willem Dafoe's there explaining the situation while it's happening. I fucking love it. Maybe I'm overthinking it nostalgically, but
this like the diner thing and the strip club thing, I was like, this is getting a little repetitive.
Yep. And then they changed it up.
And they changed it up, but it also still felt kind of repetitive. Like, to be honest, but I do agree with like the filmmaking aspect is like incorporating both ideas into one is really smart and keeps it fresh, but just not enough for me.
Right.
I can't. I don't know. I just like felt in the moment. I'm like, God damn it! We're like, this is all this movie is.
Yeah.
You know.
That's very true.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I don't know about you guys. I know you just said you really liked it.
I love that scene.
It's the best one of them for sure. Like because Willem Dafoe just goes off, but.
Well,
he gets down on his knees and shoots like the other guy does.
Yeah, it's cool.
Finger guns with him and everything.
I like the aspect of Rocco explaining like this motherfucker is like the most ruthless son of a bitch. Yeah. And I'm like,
worst day of my fucking life.
I will see him die anytime. I don't care if he kills children and women and shit. I like the aspect of going in there and getting these guys, but it just gets a little repetitive for me.
I think I can see how many people are starting to lose steam in this movie at this point. It does fall apart a little bit as it goes on. It's like, okay, how's this gonna end?
What do you think, AJ?
Well, it leads to a beautiful moment of Willem Dafoe and like the music combined with the music, like we talk about often. That him going through this and it really is put together very well. And he's going around in between the shooting and stuff of Il Duce the 6 guys, and the brothers. But I have to put myself in the shoes of the other 3 detectives who are watching this happen.
And maybe the people living in the neighborhood.
And there is just silence. And he's just
shooting his gun in the air.
You hear his feet squeaking around, and then he just all of a sudden pulls his gun and unloads his clip in the air. They're like, what the fuck is going on? And they're just like, we were just trying to take notes here. And that's what they have to deal with. And
he's sweating, got like unbuttoned.
And he's like taking his tie off, and he's sweating. He's flicking flicks sweat into his eyes or something. I'm just like, that's too much. I was like, no, the performance is wonderful, but I'm just sitting there thinking, like, if I was witnessing this, I would be weirded
without
out.
Music in the background.
Yeah, there's no music. It's just birds chirping. And
a dog barking from the yard over there,
and his shoes on the sidewalk. Like that's all I mean.
Kids jumping on a trampoline.
Yeah.
Can we all give fan service and just say the line? The line, everyone.
There was a firefight!
Thank you.
You're welcome.
He yelled that.
Everyone's going to enjoy that.
In silence.
Yeah.
Well, you notice how the Lord has given Il Duce and the McManus brothers the perfect ability of shot, and they are marksmen, and they can kill anybody at will.
So the most like efficient killer that anybody's ever seen in El Duce, and he hits all three of them once.
All three of them are injured but not killed.
Yeah,
it's because of God and God is making sure they don't kill each other. That's what and that's what I'm thinking they were going for here. And this is what my young Catholic mind in college, still conflicted with religion, was like. Yeah,
because of God and shit.
No, I get it.
That's where I think he was going with this.
Okay,
I just
whatever.
God controlled those bullets, you guys.
You don't want this guy. He's a fucking nut. You know, like what he's saying.
The bathroom.
Only
dude.
thing he's been rotting in decaying for 40 years.
They're rotting in the can for the last 30 years. Nobody's seen him since then. The Duke? What do you need the Duke for? Is this guy promoting a spaghetti commercial? What's going on?
It's a really fucking good accent. Fuck you.
Promoting a
Fuck
spaghetti
you.
commercial.
I just like the guy's voice just kind of threw me
pretty
for a
good.
loop.
It's like it turns out he's just cleaning bathrooms.
Yeah,
he used to be the owner of this mafia, and
Dude's just
I didn't
hawking
even catch his
urinal
name,
cakes.
but from your accent, I'm like Rico
Augustus.
Rigatone.
it's Augustus.
Augustus Goop. Yeah, but he's telling him all about Il Duce, and then, he gets him out of prison, and then just no tabs on the guy.
Nope.
He's just like, cool, we got him out.
We got him out. He was in a cage with 30 people around him with guns, restrained, and they're like, parole granted.
And then
then what happens is you go, oh, cool.
Il Duce is walking out in a Austin Powers style, essentially, where he's like, all right, we got your trench coat jacket. Here's your half-smoked cigar. Here's your gun vest. And then he goes, let's see, 38 caliber snub nose. You've got just like going through
all
his
your
guns.
6 holsters on your breast. That's a pretty cool
Leather
thing.
boots.
Il Duce's like, what year is it?
Exactly.
Hey, what address am I going to? Where do I find these guys?
And your sunglasses. There you go.
Holy
That's all I can
shit.
It's
think
really
about.
good, man.
We're doing best joke of the podcast now.
JJ always wins,
You get
man.
champion.
I will say my final note on this. The reason I want Il Duce's cigar
Okay.
is because Billy Connolly, who played
Yes.
Il Duce, was a musician. He's an actor. He's a comedian. He's a very funny guy. And there was like a lot of what he was doing. He's not used to playing this kind of role. This is an unheard of role for him. He's never done this before. And the reason I want his cigar is because he enjoyed playing the role so much that he couldn't stop smiling during these scenes that they had to put a cigar in his mouth to make it seem like he's clutching a cigar.
How fucking awesome is that?
Isn't that
Oh,
great?
that's incredible. And he was like, he on set was joking with like the cast and crew and like just like bystanders, like
Yeah.
so much that Troy Duffy's like, we gotta stop.
Yeah.
You gotta stop kidding around. We gotta shoot this scene.
Yeah.
Like it just seems like such a joyful dude.
Yeah, exactly. He must have just made it way better on set.
I think that
considering
would have been
around
a
Troy
very
Duffy.
fun set other than
Oh,
Troy
yeah.
Duffy.
Correct.
Yeah, probably.
From what we've heard.
All right, so scene 4. At the crime scene, Smecker is losing his mind but is able to unravel the mystery surrounding the various murders. His sympathy for the brothers conflicting with his professional desire to bring them to justice. After some drinking and chats with God, Smecker decides to help the brothers. The McManus brothers and Rocco infiltrate the Yakavetta headquarters to finish off the family, but are captured by Papa Joe and his henchmen. Rocco is killed, but the brothers are able to kill everyone else with the help of Smecker. Il Duce arrives, and it is unveiled that he is their father.
Father.
I'm your father.
I don't buy this whole Smecker talking to God thing and like coming to their side. It happens so quick.
really-
This is where the movie I'm like, no, I'm sorry, no.
Well, I think it's pretty believable. I usually I'm pretty drunk when I talk to God. So, come on.
God is Budweiser.
Yeah.
Well, tell me that when Smecker comes out of the gay bar that he's in, that he can be smelt at.
I could
I
smell
can smell you. When he comes out, that is the perfect description of like day drinking, when you've been inside of a dark bar early in the day and you get hammered and you come out to the light and you're just like, fucking, whoa! Like, it is a perfect depiction of what it's like to be day drunk when he comes out onto those streets.
How does Rocco know who he is?
He saw him
on the news.
And he walked past him during the press conference.
Yeah. So I think he knows, yeah.
So
okay.
I'm going to give it that. That's what I'm going to give it to justify it.
It was just really weird to me. Like,
but
going into the... Sorry.
I was just going to say, but from that distance, it's probably that ass.
Hey, all right. How many times are we going to say that in our reviews?
I don't know.
I never forget that ass.
I never forget that ass.
Going into like the confessional booth and everything like that, I do like the scene that the preacher guy, God man, seems like a good actor. I like his performance a lot too. I just think it's like a little weird how like he's not influencing the preacher, but the preacher sounds like, because one of the brothers, Shaun Patrick Flanery, has gunpoint to Rocco, which Rocco has to the preacher or whatever, and he's trying to not feel like they're there or whatever. But it seems like Rocco is trying to influence him onto saying these things, like telling the preacher to say
those
good things to Willem Dafoe's character
to influence him.
But he's not.
Yeah, there was never a conversation to say you need to make
there was
sure
never
this guy
that
believes
conversation.
Make that guy help us.
Yeah. It just seemed seemed really, really forced to me.
The last time that I watched it, it felt like he may have been kind of amending what he might say normally. He's not gonna say like, oh yeah, no, it's not good that they're killing people.
Yeah,
killing is bad.
I think he understands that the people doing this to him are probably the people this guy's
correct.
Talking about.
Yeah,
he's like, and he because he says at one point he's like, and would these people ever hurt an innocent person? No, they would never do that.
No.
Well, the Irish guys, but the Italian guy, he's kind of an idiot. And he's just like, there's the Italian guy behind him with a gun.
It's very true.
So for me, it's like, okay, I need to make this, just get this done. Please get this done. Get out of the church. Just get out of the church.
It's a very important thing. I see what he was going for. And again, in growing up Catholic my entire life and still being in that world when I first watched this, it's like an important thing that he wanted you to think. He wanted you to be like, the old guard church, like that's not the real church. The real God would actually definitely want you to kill evil people.
Yeah.
He doesn't care, like, because they make it a point. No, they couldn't even film this in a Catholic church, any of these scenes, because the Catholic church is like, no, fuck yourself.
No, dude.
This is not a good movie for us.
Yeah.
But that's what your young impressionable minds will be like. Yeah, well, fuck yeah, though, because like, no, this would be the real God. Like he doesn't care if I accidentally have a piece of pepperoni on Friday during Lent. He knows I love him.
Yeah.
This is just. Oh, dang it.
Personal experience. Is that like you at 5 years old?
Yeah.
Getting beat from your parents?
Well, I did have some, we'll talk. Not my parents, but,
That was always the case. Like, you accidentally forget and you eat some of a McDonald's. Oh, dang it.
And my mom, who's definitely listening, would always be like, she'd be like, well, God knows you didn't mean it, so you might as well finish it. And I'm like, thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
It's like you just shot the guy in the gut, so you might as well
finish it.
But you see what they're going after, and it meant more to me back then, and now you're right. It's just like
it just seems like a little bit lazy writing, and like the script. He just had these ideas of like, I want to do all these cool killing scenes, and we'll see the aftermath before we see what actually happened, like Quentin Tarantino. And then he's like, well, we have to end it somehow. So he just is like, they
have a dad.
Smecker chooses to go on their side, and they have a dad.
I have a real big complaint here. Okay, did the McManus brothers leave like contact information for Smecker? Because
you're right.
Because the brothers pull out his card as if they're going to call him, but he's at a payphone. And
so maybe they called him from a payphone or like call back here in 30. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
call back on a secure line.
Yeah.
Is this line secure? They probably paged him. Right. That was the era of pagers.
The pagers.
Did somebody page me?
Smecker answers and he gets like green lines all over him and he goes into the Matrix.
Not like this.
Not like this.
I did really love when they get captured, though. Again, the emotions that some of these actors can do. The scene where Rocco gets killed, and Sean Patrick Flannery and Norman Reedus, like, I believe that whole scene.
I do too, but just again, like, it feels like all of this is so rushed. Like, what happened?
Yeah. How did they get caught?
How did
this
we get
this
here?
is the only.
This is a short movie. They could have done it.
This is the only scene you're not going to show what happened.
And that's how they got caught.
You know, like,
Yeah.
like. I guess Defoe's character Smecker wasn't around to investigate how they got caught. Like
True.
That's
He
what
was
the
getting
script
ready.
dictates.
He was getting ready for his big day.
It's just like it seems so rushed to me, and like, oh yeah, they're caught. Okay, and then Rocco dies. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree with you because it is. It's like, well, because they say, yeah, we're gonna hit Papa Joe tonight at his house in the comfort of his own home, and then we're going on to New York because there's a lot of heat around us right now.
Yeah.
And then the next thing is like, oh, they're caught.
Yep, we got him.
We got him.
Let's
kill him.
We're never going to get, Boondock Saints lost in New York. That's super sad.
Give him the joke. Give him the joke again. You already got it.
He's
Damn.
got it. He's got like 3 deep right now.
So if I tell a funny joke, I still can't get it back because we're subtracting one of
You gotta
AJ's
do
jokes.
unless it's like +3 joke.
It's bags points.
Well, and what did you think about Willem Dafoe cross-dressing Willem Dafoe?
I love it, man. Like I think it's. I mean, obviously not convincing whatsoever.
Are you gonna call Willem Dafoe Primo Box if you see Willem Dafoe? Because I don't think that's the first thing.
Primo Box.
Come on, man! It won't take 5 minutes.
Primo Box.
Primo Box.
That's a term. No, this man needs.
What do you call women?
The worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
Come on, baby, come to Papa.
The only thing worse that I've heard, like as terms of grossness, is like referring to my dick as my crumb, and man, I would tongue punch her fart box.
I like all those better than Primo Box.
Why is this happening?
Did you know why Il Duce did not kill Willem Dafoe though?
He was a woman.
Yeah. And it's a nice little.
Okay.
He says only thing though he won't, or like only one rule:
Only
no
one
women,
thing.
no children.
Yeah.
Only one thing.
So Smecker, had he not decided that this was his way in,
Yeah.
dead.
Probably was.
Smecker dead.
Capped.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Kind of an interesting point there.
Yeah, I like that.
That you had to really think about as a 19-year-old. Be like, oh,
Cinema.
Guys, humanize the goons, okay? You see Primo Boxer going in, and he's like, oh yeah, you want the champ? You want the champ?
ringside, baby.
Ringside, baby. And then the wig falls off, and you get full on Willem Dafoe.
But time out.
You
Like,
get full on Willem Dafoe in a wig before that, though.
And mascara.
Oh, so the wig comes off 2 inches, and now you're like, what the fuck? Wait a second.
Aren't you Willem Dafoe? The most weirdest facial structure in the world.
Aren't you the Green Goblin? That's what you see, and him screaming just like, "Gah!"
His
That's
like
slow
puff cheeks.
motion.
Yeah,
That was a
dude.
cool shot, dude. Slow
cool.
motion Willem Dafoe blowing his lips out.
And like he feels like what does he say? He says too far.
Yeah,
Too far. Like he's like he knows he's
on
in
now.
now. He
Yeah.
he killed somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like I'm in
Yep.
deep now.
Yeah.
And like that to me, what like became watching it this time around was way more impactful. Watching him do that, it was really, really well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's end this. So 3
Let's do
months
it.
later, Papa Joe is sent to trial. The trial is forcibly interrupted when the two brothers and El Duce, aided by Agent Smecker and other police officers, infiltrate and lock down the courtroom. The three then publicly declare their mission to destroy evil and recite their prayer one last time, killing Papa Joe. The media dubs the three saints, and the movie ends with indifferent public interviews about the saints and their mission. Did
They're
they?
killing for good. Killing for good.
Killing for
Listen to yourself.
Listen to yourself.
Those people were really mad. I love the Saints, man. Go get them.
I love to think that, yeah, like some of those were actors, but I do really like to think that like some of them were actually on the streets and they did like they kind of Venom or something, or they give him false claims and like, what do you think about the Saints? Have you heard the stories about the Saints?
Oh, I have an opinion.
And it's like, oh yeah, I have an opinion on something that's not actually true. It's like, I love the Saints, man. I love the Saints. Yeah, and
it should be in every major city.
Every major city, man. It's like, I'm ready to get busy too. I'm ready to get busy.
That's pretty good. I like that.
The best way to end the movie. That and Geraldo Rivera.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Why is he here?
If you're thinking about, like we like to think about logistical things about a movie, like, where this ending scene used to be the world for me. Like,
man.
Oh my God, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But then I think about it logistically as an adult. I'm like, okay, so did they practice who was going to say what at what time? Because it's like, okay, when I get done talking about sending you to whatever God you wish, we'll all come together in the middle again, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll start saying the prayer. And
Dad,
then do I
Dad's
shoot
in
first?
the middle. Dad's in the middle.
Who
so
says in nomine patri?
Ooh,
You do in nomine patri.
I'll get
Okay.
in nomine
I
patri.
think Dad should say Padre.
Oh, no. He'll say spiritu. Yeah.
Well, let's just make this simple. Let's just make this simple. Like every third line I say it, and then like every second line you say it.
Are
That
you
first
going to
line,
stand on the desk, though?
I could stand.
You go to
stand on
the
defense.
left side.
On or offense.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. You go to the left side. No, like stage left. You go to the stage left.
So that's
Yeah. So it's the opposite. It's the opposite.
That's the opposite. That's
Yeah,
the
cool.
opposite.
All right.
Wonderful.
Because they had to rehearse this. It was 3 months later, so they had a lot of time to run it through.
And I like to think of them also, again, sitting in whatever hotel room, and like one of them's got like a notebook, and they're laying on the bed on their stomach, and like, I don't know, what do you think this line would be?
I'm
What
so
about-
glad to have Dad back.
Do you want me to say steal first or rip first?
Yeah.
Rip.
Do not steal. Do not rip.
Do not kill. Do not reap. These are principles of every man of every faith can embrace.
I read a thing.
Okay, American Norman Reedus.
I read a thing, a review that said Norman Reedus apparently goes from Irish to Celtic to Pakistani to ends in Jamaican. It's just like,
Norman Reedus can't even talk in like The Walking Dead. I don't even understand what he says in that shit. So it's just like he's just a cool dude.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
I don't care.
he's just a cool dude, man. I love him.
I don't. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I don't know how it's just so easy for the other detectives to get on board too. Like I guess like we can't fight crime. Like these guys are just doing the good that we can't. It's just like okay.
And they're all in that last scene helping. Every one of them.
They're all aiding and abetting.
Yeah.
They are. They're all part of it.
Yeah.
And the shotgun seems a little overkill for a headshot.
He's a bad guy, dude. He's the next John Gotti.
Yeah, well,
it gives a whole new meaning to double tap. You just got a triple tap with a 12-gauge shotgun.
dude, it's pretty intense.
I always love. I remember as a kid rewinding this scene so many times. Just the sound effect of the pew, like the two silence pistols and the shotgun. I'm like, that's so cool.
Yep.
It sounds so badass. And
Oh yeah.
I don't like the techno Gregorian chants. I can't do it. No.
That could have easily could have been in like GoldenEye or something like that. It really could have been.
Some sort of Russian conflict movie.
The Hunt for Red October.
U-571. 2022.
Red Dawn.
Red Dawn, thank you. I didn't know if I was going to go there or not, but yeah, I'm glad we did.
I don't know. I just remember this being so impactful of a scene and how there's this implied like innocent virgin woman.
Yes.
In fact, in the credits it says virginal woman.
Yeah.
You must watch. And then this implication of the media goes to her first. It's just a weird. The more it goes on, you're just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't really like the ending of this. But after this, then it's like, oh, it ends, and then how far do we take it?
Yeah.
How far do you want to take it?
The question is, do you possess the Constitution?
The debt to faith.
To take it. And the debt to faith. To take it
as far as
needed.
And then,
and then he fades away.
Interviews, yeah. It's
There's
like
so many fades, man. There's
I
so many
know.
like fade to blacks, and
Yeah.
that's also like another thing that kind of irks me. Is like you couldn't have thought of like some other cool transition.
No, this is his first movie.
Like we'll talk about that.
You want me to show you my iMovie stuff I made in 2001? Because I can.
It always makes me think. It always makes me think of Spaceballs. Nice dissolve.
That's it. That's all I got.
I think that's it, man.
All right, so we've stripped away the nostalgia. We've talked about it with a modern eye. It is time to give it a true rating for what it is today. AJ, you're going to go first, man. What do you give this modern day rating?
I still have a lot of fun watching this movie, and I feel like this has been a trend for me lately. And I'm enjoying watching the movie again. There's enough action to keep me entertained. The dialogue is good enough, and I enjoy who I'm watching. Right. So, although from the past few movies that I've been saying this kind of same thing about, it's probably my lowest on the totem pole.
Right.
So, I'm gonna go just above dead center in our rating. Go for a 5.5.
5.5. Shaun, how about you?
Yeah, man. I texted you guys before we even did this episode. I was like, I'm so conflicted on this movie. I don't know what to think about it. Like, I loved it back in the day so much. I watched it so many fucking times. I loved it. I loved every line. And it's just like this movie, I do like a lot of the comedy bits a lot. They still hold up to me, and like a lot of the action scenes hold up. Although they do get repetitive nowadays for me, it's still kind of well directed, and I have to take in the fact that this is his first movie, Troy Duffy's first movie,
sure.
And it's an independent movie, and he didn't make any money off it.
Not till later.
Nothing. He had to sue. There was a whole thing, and he finally got the rights to the title itself, and then he can make the sequel.
Yeah,
it's a tough thing making these fucking movies, and it's a tough thing. I imagine having the whole world brought to you by a huge conglomerate producer, and then it taken away, and then you get your movie just a little bit held back, and then you get nothing out of that. It's fucked up. There's a quote from Troy Duffy that says, "Making an independent film is funded by you're on your own money." And it's true. Like he was on his own, and he had to deal with what he dealt with, and what I think he dealt with was kind of a good movie. But nowadays, it's just a little bit too repetitive for me, for my taste. I'm a 4.7.
4.7.
4.7 for the old Shauner there. I still really like this movie. I love it. Feels like it was something special for the time, and it feels like it was a part of my life, and it's hard to strip away that nostalgia on some of these movies.
Yeah.
But then thinking about it, I really hate Troy Duffy. Like from what I've gathered, he brought us All Saints Day, which is the worst movie I've ever seen. And apparently there's a fucking third one
on the way,
which no one out there should ever think about watching. And then last night I watched The Town.
Yeah,
which is like the same movie, but so much better.
That's a really good point.
And so, I still have to give this movie credit, but I do have to come down from my 10. I still am going to rank this higher than you guys. I'm going to call it a 7.55.
Okay.
But again, it's there are faults, and I can see them. Will I watch it again? Yeah. I will.
Yeah, absolutely.
On Thursday.
On Thursday.
Tomorrow. Yeah. So our combined modern day rating is 5.92.
I'm fine with that.
Which takes us to, that's pretty low. That is right below Heavyweights, right above Running Man, at the very bottom third of our list here.
That makes sense to me.
Feels right. I knew there'd be some variations there, and I think that's how it's going to go. But we're glad you were here. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for being here. Tune in next Wednesday for another great episode. We got a bonus episode coming out on Monday. We are going to review the brand new Batman.
Yeah.
So you haven't seen it yet, just go see it. Immediately go see it this weekend. And then we're going to head back to the 80s. It's been a little while. Tom Cruise Grammy-nominated masterpiece Cocktail.
Grammy-nominated?
It's not Grammy, but... Actually, I'll explain to you why.
Soundtrack was bomb.
I'll explain to you why when we get there.
Okay.
And if you're new to the podcast, go back in time. This time last year, we got a mini bite about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Fuck yeah.
That was a really fun one.
That was.
Because there's actually a lot you didn't know about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
There's a lot I didn't know that you guys informed me on. It was a really fun episode to do.
I think you should give that a listen. Check it out.
Turns out they were also on a mission from God,
Yep.
Jordon, and we're defeating evil vigilante style.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Weird.
What timing?
We got to read our Patreon names because it's that time. These are all of our amazing Patreon members, top tier. Dane, Joel, Robin Fawcett, Tony B, Nick Merulla, Mark Pryor, Keerlana, Jordon, Elisha, Nick Fulkerson, Camden Griffith, Francisco Rivera, Cameron J, Bud Larsen, BigBigAndy, Katie Beeks, Travis Hunziker, Bryan Hernandez, Greg Jackson, Mr. and Mrs. Roommate, Cale James, Jason Davis, Emilio Perez, Shaun Dixon, Jordon Hooten, Brynna Misener, Willie Cox III, Cole DeRocher, Jenel Lewis, Joseph Thomas, Marshall G, Ryan Carlton, Josh Miller, Connor Macy, Jason Botsford, Stephen Moore, Chris Pryor, Paul Diaro, Jason Hahn, Moth Maiden Creations, Travis Scanlon, Eric Hine, Michael Hod, Gary McCarthy, Corey Vaughn, Damian Zemek, Ranger Rick and Sue Ballou, Zachary Heron, Dallas B, Kitty Witch Chaos, Revis Davis, Wagoneer, Tim Nash, Dwayne Van, Robert Venz, Joey Piemonte, Cole DeRocher, David Waters, Alan Cross, Sean Zerophonic, Amy N, Ryan O, Samuel Miller, David Gould, John Devlin, Zachary Jones, Seth Murray, Tina Hansen, Rolland and Julie, Lilo Dallas Multipass, Joshua Goodman, Lance Davis, Jesse Anderson, Mike Being Mike, Dale Prestupia, Lana Croft, Anthony Guidi, Mike Wheeler, Andrew Sawtell, Eric Harding, Jarrett Layoff,
Nice.
Gabe B, Aaron Baker, Ryan Grabsky, Michael Nash, Adam Bathen, Ryan Weaver, Quentin Moore, Aaron Vandergrift, Zach Evans, Willard Brown, Justin Woolley, Todd Fat Joe. Actually, he corrected me. It's Fat Joe. The original Caffeinator, Piao, Jared Bushman, Christopher Diaro, Anthony Rochette, Melinda Miller, Luke Bituis, Gary Son of Gary, Sean Hatley, Rachel Heinz Bailey, Jason McCartan, Kaylin Chance, Murky, and Tyler Dark. God damn it. I hope that worked really well. Oh, thank you guys.
Thank you
Appreciate
guys
that.
so much.
You're the best.
Give them a
You
you're
are
the best, please.
amazing.
I forgot to do that. I always used to do that.
Yeah.
Woo!
Thank you
Okay.
guys so much.
All right, thanks for listening, guys. Please stay in touch with us by following on all of our social media platforms at Confused Breakfast on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and Confused Be Fast on Twitter. Make sure to subscribe to our podcast and leave a review on the podcast platform of your choice right now.
Also, we have merch. You know you want to rep the Confused Breakfast in public. Mugs, stickers, shirts, all kinds of goodies. Go to confusedbreakfast.com for a direct link.
And don't forget about our voicemail number, 319-804-9596. Links to everything you could ever need from us are in the show notes or at confusedbreakfast.com. This includes a way to follow all of us individually in our personal projects that we want you to check out. Mission of the day, tell your friends about us. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.